Well, what brought me to Aurora College was my call to the Advent Christian ministry. After a number of exposures to Aurora College through the visitation of administrators and faculty, I knew about the special academic program at Aurora. I recall visits to the Magnolia AC Church, where I was a member and grew up, by Dr. Jenks, President Stevens, Jerry Richardson, Stan Perry, whose preaching impressed me. And then there were the concerts by the college chorus under the direction of Maud Boslow, later Maud Boslow Naden. That also made a deep impression on me. We also had some pastors who were graduates of Aurora and who were frequently in our home for visits and for meals. So for me, it was the logical place to go to prepare for ministry.
I spent my early years in India, and at the time, even as a young child, I followed around some of the missionary nurses there, and so I was going to be a nurse. So when I was a junior in high school, my parents had been at home because of the World War II, and my father had taken a pastorate in Massachusetts. And they had to go back when I was a junior in high school. So I spent my summers in the place where I was familiar with people in Massachusetts. When I wanted to go to Aurora, my folks were in India, and a man in the church there sent a cable to my folks. And of course they said, okay, I can go. And even, of course, in Aurora, you take 1 year at the college, and then at that time you take the nursing course through Copley Hospital. And I was going to do that. And in fact, my uniforms were already ordered at Copley Hospital. But a guy named Louia Gransee came along with a little different proposal, and so I never did get to nursing.
I never was drafted into the military. I never served in the military. So I didn't have a GI Bill. But my growth during that time, intellectually, came through the classes that I took and the personal associations that I had with the faculty and the administrators. It was a challenge to get into the pattern of studying, reading books, writing notes, sitting in class, because my 21 years on the farm taught me that real work was labor work, not the sedentary style demanded by using my brain. So I grew in appreciation for the importance of thinking and of finding ways to apply what I had learned through the discipline of academia.
I do remember that one class, and I think it was a Mr. Pfeiffer, if that name's familiar, who taught it, and one of the assignments we had was to write to trace the development, the metamorphosis of our self-esteem and our sense of ego. And I wrote it and turned it in, and when I got it back, he had circled something that I had written, and I was totally unaware that I had written it. And I had told about my background in India and how I related to the Indian children, and what I had said was, of whom, of course, I was better. Apparently, racism was a very strong part of, I won't blame the missionaries, of my background. And after that, then I had some communication with him, and that helped me very much because it was totally unknown. I didn't realize at all. One of the things that we have very much appreciated is the financial aid, both to us and our children and our grandchildren. And I know that there are some generous people who are still giving scholarships. I just hope that continues. It has meant so much in our family. In fact, we wouldn't have even been able to go, any of our family.
It seems to me that the present emphasis on community involvement is a great step in preparing students to live out their lives on higher ground. As I've read about some of the things that Aurora is doing, I'm always struck by this emphasis on getting the students out where they're mixing with community people doing things in the community. I just think that makes so much sense.